Shopify earns more when you earn more. And that single incentive explains why it quietly powers millions of businesses worldwide. Most companies sell software. Shopify sells outcomes. If your store fails, Shopify makes very little. But when your store grows, when your revenue scales, Shopify scales with you. That alignment changed how e-commerce works. Before Shopify, launching an online store meant hiring developers, managing servers, handling security, and stitching together payment systems that barely worked together. E-commerce wasn't just hard, it was exclusionary. Shopify removed that barrier entirely. Suddenly, anyone could launch a global business from a laptop, no technical background required. But the real brilliance wasn't just simplicity. It was how Shopify built its business model around merchant success. At first glance, Shopify looks like a subscription company. Merchants pay a monthly fee for access to the platform, storefronts, inventory management, analytics, and basic tools to get started. But subscriptions are only the foundation. The real engine is merchant solutions. Every time a customer checks out, Shopify processes the payment. Every time a business uses Shopify payments, Shopify earns a percentage. When merchants use shipping labels, financing tools, point-of-sale systems, or capital advances, Shopify earns more. The faster merchants grow, the more volume flows through Shopify's rails. And crucially, Shopify doesn't need to push ads or upsell aggressively. Growth happens naturally because success compounds on both sides. Instead of trying to control everything, Shopify did something unusual. It opened the platform. Developers could build apps. Designers could sell themes. Agencies could specialize entirely around Shopify stores. This turned Shopify into an ecosystem, not a product. Today, merchants don't just run stores, they assemble stacks. Subscriptions, email tools, fulfillment software, loyalty systems, all plugged into Shopify. And Shopify takes a cut by simply being the foundation everything runs on. The platform gets more valuable without Shopify having to build every feature themselves. That's leverage. Traditional retail scales by holding inventory. Shopify scales without touching a single product. It doesn't manufacture goods. It doesn't run warehouses. It doesn't manage logistics directly. Instead, it monetizes infrastructure. When global commerce expands, Shopify expands. When new business models emerge, dropshipping, direct-to-consumer brands, creator commerce, Shopify absorbs them without changing its core. That flexibility is why Shopify can serve a solo founder and a multi-billion-dollar brand on the same platform. Different scale, same rails. E-commerce platforms come and go. Shopify endured because it never competed with its merchants. It doesn't launch private label brands. It doesn't prioritize its own products in search results. It doesn't extract value unless merchants succeed. That trust matters. Merchants build entire businesses on Shopify. Sometimes their entire livelihoods. Walking away would be costly, but staying feels fair. That balance, high switching costs without resentment, is extremely rare. There's another layer to Shopify's power that's easy to miss. Data. Shopify doesn't just host stores. It sits beneath millions of transactions across industries, geographies, and price points. That gives it a unique, aggregated view of how modern commerce actually behaves. What products convert? What checkout flows reduce friction? What payment options increase completion rates? What pricing strategies scale? And which ones collapse? Most merchants only see their own data. Shopify sees patterns across the entire economy, and it uses those insights to continuously optimize the platform, quietly improving conversion rates, fraud detection, checkout speed, and reliability for everyone. Each improvement is small in isolation, but at scale, they compound into real revenue for merchants and for Shopify. Shopify is famously patient. It's willing to sacrifice short-term profit margins to strengthen long-term platform dominance. Instead of maximizing fees, it lowers friction. Instead of locking merchants in aggressively, it earns loyalty. That's why Shopify reinvests so heavily into infrastructure, tooling, and developer ecosystems. The goal isn't this quarter's earnings. The goal is to still be powering commerce 20 years from now. And when you're building for decades, not quarters, decisions look very different. Shopify doesn't need to predict which brands will win. It benefits from all of them. If one merchant fails, another replaces it. If a trend fades, a new one emerges. If consumer behavior shifts, Shopify adapts at the platform level. It doesn't pick winners. It monetizes momentum. That makes Shopify unusually resilient, even in volatile economic environments. When advertising slows, Shopify still processes payments. When consumer confidence dips, Shopify still collects subscriptions. When new entrepreneurs emerge, Shopify is often the first platform they choose. It's not exposed to one business model. It's exposed to commerce itself. Most tech companies chase attention. Shopify chases alignment, and alignment is what turns software into infrastructure. That's why Shopify doesn't feel like a brand you notice. It feels like something that's simply there, quietly enabling the modern economy. And that's exactly where the most powerful platforms live. Shopify isn't trying to be a website builder. It's trying to become the operating system for commerce. Online stores, physical retail, payments, financing, fulfillment, analytics, every transaction, everywhere. The more fragmented commerce becomes, the more valuable Shopify's neutral infrastructure becomes. It doesn't care what you sell, only that you sell more of it. Competitors can copy features. They can copy pricing. What they can't easily copy is incentive alignment. When your revenue grows in lockstep with your customers, trust compounds. Ecosystems form naturally, and platforms become foundations. Shopify didn't win by extracting value. It won by enabling it. And that's why every time a small business succeeds online, Shopify quietly succeeds with them.